On this new episode of Manufacturing Techniques, we're talking about wood turning. Wood turning is a very common process. It can be executed both manually and automatically by a machine. It's so satisfying to watch someone do it. There's loads of videos online of people doing it with wood, with resin, with all kinds of stuff. Welcome to Design Education with Mia. I just realized something. I kind of look like those renders from Samda's Designs tutorials with the window and the lights and the chairs. The oldest record of wood turning that we have today is from ancient Rome and ancient Egypt. It's possible and it is probable that we had wood turning before those times. We just didn't have any written record of it. So obviously this process is called wood turning because the wood is turning and you shape it while it's spinning around. You place the piece of wood on something called a lathe. The lathe is an equipment that is going to hold and spin the wood for you. So once you've placed it on the lathe, you use gouges and chisels to carve the wood into the desired shape. So obviously the pieces that come out of this process are going to be symmetrical, which means that you can produce things such as bowls, vases, cups. Obviously, just like any other discipline, it takes time and practice to master this technique to create beautiful and smooth products. Now we're going to go through the steps of this process. You may need to do some preparations before you put the wood on the lathe, such as trimming down the bark, sticking pieces together to have a thicker center. It all depends on what your goal is, but basically you're going to take your piece, place it on the lathe, and slowly start carving out with your biggest gouge and then go down to the finest chisel. While you're doing that, you have a number of different types of gouges and chisels that will enable you to do different cuts and different shapes onto your piece. At the end, the artisan finishes up by sanding down the piece and applying oil to it while it's still spinning. He can later take it off the lathe and his piece is ready. Let's look at the environmental impact. This process doesn't require lots of energy and it uses a renewable source of material, wood. There is quite a bit of material wasted during this process. When you're carving out so much wood, there's a lot of sawdust and ribbons that shoot out of the product. I think this can be remedied by just using these wasted materials in another project. It is really important during this process that you wear a mask in order to avoid inhaling sawdust because it could be really harmful for your lungs. So that's all for the wood turning process. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something new. You guys can interact with me on my Instagram account. You can also interact with me in the comments, ask me questions, let me know what you thought of this video. Tell me if you'd like to see other processes and if you'd like me to add something to my explanations. In other news, I just started a master's degree in design through biomimicry. I'm going to make a video about biomimicry and design and why we should use it, but please let me know if you're interested in finding out more about this master's degree. I'd love to answer your questions, and I'll see you later.